Today I'm sewing and sharing a pair of light and comfortable shorts. This is an easy BurdaStyle pattern that you can find on their website as a downloadable PDF. But if you happen to be a subscriber to BurdaStyle magazine and you have issue 7 2023, this is style 129B. The other day I sewed up a woven tank in a nice light cotton material, and I had just enough fabric left over to create a pair of matching shorts. I've left a link to the pattern below so that you can check out all the details and sew along with me. So grab that pattern, cut out your fabric, and let's get started. The first step in these shorts is to attach the front piece to the back piece at the inseam. Before I attach them, I want to finish these seams. Using your zigzag stitch or your serger, go ahead and finish your inseams for both your front and back pieces. Now that I've serged those seams, I'm going to place my back piece on top of my front piece, right sides together, and pin or clip this seam. I've added a 5/8 inch seam allowance for this project, so now I'm going to sew this inseam with a 5/8 inch seam allowance and then press the seams open. Do this for both sets of front and back pieces. Now that the front and back pieces are connected at the inseams, we want to finish both of their side seams. Using your serger or your zigzag stitch, finish the side seam of your front piece and your back piece separately. Do this for both sets of front and back pieces. Now that I've finished the side seams, I'm going to place these front and back pieces right sides together and pin or clip this side seam. I've clipped the side seams for both sets of front and back pieces. Now I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew these seams with a 5/8 inch seam allowance and press the seams open. Now I'm going to take one set of these shorts pieces and turn it right side out. And I'm going to place it inside the other set of shorts pieces, which is wrong side out. Now that these short sets are right sides together, I'm going to pin or clip this center curve, making sure to perfectly match together my inseams. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew this center curve with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to serge the seams together to finish. Grab your waistband piece and find the center point. We want to find both the horizontal and vertical center points. And at these center points, we want to mark where we want to sew our buttonholes. I want the top of my buttonhole to start about 3/8 of an inch from the top fold of my waistband. And I want each buttonhole to be about 1/4 of an inch away from that vertical center point. I've placed pins here through one layer of the fabric. This side of the waistband is going to be the front of my waistband. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew buttonholes 3/8 of an inch from that top fold. I'm also going to take tiny scrap pieces of interfacing and apply them to the wrong side of the fabric right where I'm going to be sewing those buttonholes. If it helps, you can also use a marking pen of your choice to place a mark where you want to start your buttonholes. Now I'm ready to take this to my sewing machine and sew my buttonholes to my front waistband area. And then you can open up those buttonholes. Now fold your waistband in half so that the short ends meet. And we're going to sew the short edges for the front side of our waistband only. From the bottom edge to the horizontal center, this should be a distance of 2 inches. And again, we're sewing the edge of the front waistband only. This is the section of the waistband that has our buttonholes. Sew from the bottom edge to the center point, backstitching to secure using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Even though only half of the seam allowance is sewn, press open the entire seam allowance. Fold your waistband in half, wrong sides together, and pin in place all the way along that bottom raw edge. Then take your waistband to your sewing machine and you're going to baste together the bottom raw edges of the waistband all the way around. Note that you will be basting across that center back seam, but there will still be a nice opening here for us to insert the elastic on the inside of the garment. Now we can attach our waistband to the top of our shorts. Starting at the center back of the shorts, I'm going to match that center back point with the center seam of my waistband. Make sure that that opening in your stitching of your waistband is facing you. And pin in place. And then continue pinning all around the waistband. Now go to your sewing machine and sew your waistband to the top of your shorts with a 5/8 inch seam allowance all the way around. And then finish your seams together all the way around. Now we're going to prepare the casings for the waistband. The pattern calls for 3 strips of 1/4 inch elastic, and the length of each strip for your short size is listed in the pattern instructions. So we're going to be sewing 2 horizontal lines in our waistband, which will leave us with 3 equal sections for our elastic in the waistband, which we'll be inserting through that back opening. The first row of stitches will be 3/8 of an inch from the top folded edge, and the second row of stitching will be 3/8 of an inch away from the seam line where we connected the waistband to the shorts. That distance in our stitching should align with the top and bottom of those buttonholes. Go ahead and sew those 2 rows of stitching all around your waistband. Now I'm going to attach a small safety pin to one short edge of one strip of my elastic and insert it through one of the 3 openings at the back center seam. Draw your elastic through all the way until you're back at the beginning. Once your elastic comes out the other end, overlap the 2 edges of your elastic and sew back and forth to secure. Repeat all of those steps to attach your 2 remaining strips of elastic through your 2 remaining openings in your casing. Then, using a needle and coordinating thread, we're going to slip stitch the center back seam closed. For the drawstring that we're going to be inserting through the buttonholes at the front of the garment, the pattern calls for cording and the lengths for your size again are listed in the pattern instructions. One alternative to cording would be laces. Insert your drawstring through one buttonhole, take it through the waistband just as we did for the elastic, coming out the other buttonhole. And now the last thing to do is to hem the bottoms of our shorts. I'm going to take both of the raw edges of both leg holes to my serger and finish the edges all the way around. The hem allowance for our shorts is 3/4 of an inch. So I took the serged bottom edges of my shorts to my ironing board and pressed up that hem all the way around both legs 3/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew close to the serged edge all the way around both leg holes. And then you're all done with your shorts. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you check out my other videos for more great sewing inspiration, and I'll see you in the next video.